your most important asset that any startup has is your intellectual property because you don't have a product yet. It's your concept. Mm-hmm. Do you want somebody else to steal your concept?
Welcome to the Texas Embassy podcast. Ned, we know about you already, my friend, and the audience can go back to that podcast. Mm-hmm. But please tell us about yourself.
Thank you. It's really good to be here. Thanks very much. My name is Victoria Meagher. I'm from Long Island. We moved here about almost 5 years ago. It was a great place to live, beautiful place, tons of friends. Lived in several places for school. Went to Connecticut, lived there, Ohio, South Carolina, went to Clemson Tigers. Yep, I'm a Tiger in both places. And ironically, my friends call me Tori the Tiger. So that's kind of cool. That's like how that kind of came out later in life.
Call her El Toro.
El Toro.
So I played a little stint of ice hockey. I was a figure skater, and I played field hockey through college.
Wow.
At Wittenberg University in Ohio. So that was just a great time. But then I transferred to Clemson. They didn't have hockey there, so I didn't play. But then played a little bit of hockey, ice hockey later. Ned was a big ice hockey player. Our boys play hockey. So now I'm a hockey mom.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yep. And you've been on the ice.
Oh, yeah, I do. And it was exhilarating.
That's where the name El Toro came from.
That's where it came from. So we all had nicknames. And my coach named us. And so someone named me El Toro because I was a bull on the ice.
I love that because that's part of what we would ask you at the end of the podcast is what's your call sign? Mm-hmm. I got
Toro.
it.
I'm a Taurus. I'm April. So April 24th is my birthday. So I'm a Taurus anyway. So it all kind of came together.
That's good. Your 27th birthday's coming up. That's right.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
It. That's
my
right.
kids still say that to me. I don't age at all. I don't think.
So what are you guys working on? You're a duo. You guys are
the dynamic duo.
What
are we working on? We're working on trying to build a business in Texas. Mm-hmm. We're going through lots of events, lots of working together with a lot of accelerators like yourself, like Q Branch. And one of the bigger ones we're picking up is Tech Fort Worth, which the people at Tech Fort Worth.
I think so, yeah.
Caitlin, she's fantastic. And, trying to put together events, getting to know startups, getting our feet wet, trying to help startups build companies from kind of what we like to say cradle to grave. Building their products, making sure they're protected, making sure they have a strategy for moving forward in this world of people stealing everybody else's IP. So it's important for them to get their feet wet and know the process at the beginning and not try and dive halfway in between, saying I want to do my IP now when it's a lot of times it's too late. So we're dealing with a lot of startups. We have picked up a few mid-sized companies. We still do work with all the companies that we worked with for the past 30 years. And those are massive portfolios that we manage on a daily basis. But Texas is growing. Texas is one of the areas of our firm it's really growing. And Tori has a lot to do with that. She's out and about all the time. We go to a lot of dinners, take a lot of people out, go to a lot of events.
Yeah, Tori, I think you had invited us to an event in Dallas. I don't know if you want to talk about that event. We were, one of our startups actually did very well there. Mm-hmm. It was beautifully scripted, very well executed. If you want to talk about that, I think the audience would love to know.
Yeah, I would love to. So,
just put the mic up a little bit closer.
So diving into the community, coming from New York and knowing no one, and we wanted to build his business. So we still have attorneys in New York, and we have one in Virginia.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
You could definitely do that, naturally. But we wanted to jump into the community. So while doing that, I joined several boards. I jumped into the chamber in Southlake, got on their board, and was able to meet so many fantastic people. It's just this area, Texas, is just an amazing place to meet and greet and get to know people who you can trust and who want to do business with you.
You've been around, you've moved around. You've been in Ohio, kind of like me, being a military brat. So you've seen different cultures.
Yes,
even
very much so.
South Carolina. I mean.
And that the Southern hospitality is definitely part of it. But there's something really special about Texas, and people will say, what can I do for you? And if you're in an event, the next day you have 3 to 5 emails because people follow up and they want to help you. So with that, we learned how to navigate this whole community through Southlake, then Dallas, Austin, and Houston. And so being part of the South Lake Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization, on the board, I was invited to help with community events. And that's what we do. So this was all geared towards AI and startups. And that's where it all came together that we met you. And bringing startups to talk and pitch and to network and have a panel discussion from high-ranking people in C-suite. It was very successful
that was
last year.
part of what I was.
Well, then you were at the Innovation Cup, is what you're talking about. The
Or you
one at
speak
the
about something
end.
else?
No.
Oh, why Texas?
No.
The Innovation Cup at the end where they won.
Oh, I know. Well, I was leading up to that. So that was our final event. And so we wanted to mimic a Shark Tank.
Yes.
And right. So yes, sorry. I didn't know exactly what we were speaking about.
No, that was
But
it.
that was it.
Yeah, that was it. I
Yes.
get it. There's a lot of multiple events.
Oh, we had so many events, but
right.
really that was our kind of crescendo. And we'll be doing another one in June. So
Another
we were able to bring.
Innovation Cup?
I think so. Yeah.
I didn't
secret.
approve that.
But bringing together people like you and those startups that you believe in to bring them to the table. We had 3 judges, and they were fantastic. Thought they had great feedback.
Yeah, I like the fact that you invited the accelerators to bring their
right,
companies.
top,
So that
Yes.
it was really that the vetting to some degree, and there was more
Right.
of, okay, I felt a little nervous because these are I'm putting my efforts on display.
That's right.
And how I have helped and supported this startup. That's what I liked about that. I call it a little bit of a stress level. But then you had in the room powerful business leaders. And it was almost at every single table, I could tell that there was a community there that could either help, support, potentially buy their products. So it was a powerful room. And then the judges themselves,
Yes.
that was another level up. I was like, wow, this is, I mean, some people, when they walk into the room, they don't look at those type of distinguishable
No, you really did
qualities.
pinpoint
But
that
I was
well.
like, whoa, that was a really great event that
Yes.
you put on.
We wanted investors there who were serious about looking at top people that you would recommend
Right.
coming from the incubator. And that's exactly what panned out.
It did. I mean, we were fortunate enough to take second place, which is great.
You
But
did.
I could see why the first place person won first place. But just to be in that room alone, just a fly on the wall, any startup would have loved to have been there.
I'm so glad. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was really well put together.
Pitting the innovation and accelerators against one another. And I don't think a lot of them knew what was going on at first. But that was the idea, was to pin them to bring their best, so that you can have an innovation cup that you have a true winner. Like, who was out of everybody and all the incubators and accelerators, who was the best that somebody bought?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that was the idea behind.
Nobody,
Look up.
I've been doing this for a little bit, but I haven't seen that yet.
I think that was new.
That's a thread you should pull on. It's like, all right, let's see who really.
Yeah, that's great
right,
feedback.
exactly.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought so too. We wanted something a little bit different, not just because there's so many pitches going on out there and many people showing up and doing their thing, but we wanted something a little bit more edgy for you to be responsible for bringing your best.
That's right.
That's what we wanted.
That's right.
And it worked.
And the quality.
And did you see
Good
the
quality.
cup? There was actual cup.
No,
that-
we had to go back. We
Yeah,
had to
there was
go
an
back to
actual
Austin
you
for
did.
cup
another-
that the
yeah.
innovator got the cup,
Wow.
which was kind of cool. They didn't get a dollar prize; they got the cup, and the winners got the money.
That's right.
So,
That's neat.
Yeah, it was
it's
a lot
kinda
of
cool.
fun putting
Yeah.
that together too.
All right. Well, I'm going to come win it next year.
Okay.
there you go. There you go.
You know, Ned, yesterday we had what we call an investor showcase. We call them executive sessions, but you got up on stage and you said something that was very interesting to me that I haven't heard even in anything. Is that
That
you know
I'm
when
married.
you had a
Very
I was like-
How did he pull that one off?
but it was,
Yeah.
you know, not only are you protecting IP, but you need to be aware of what your own IP can be defended against.
Oh, yeah,
especially,
absolutely.
you know, we're a global company, accelerator. So even though you have IP from one location, you're coming in and into a new marketplace. I did not even fathom that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you want to pull on that thread.
So so that's every country has their own IP law, right? So if you're going to file, and there are avenues to protect all countries simultaneously. It's called a international application or patent cooperation treaty. But when people don't do that, and they just focus on the U.S., for example, or people or in Israel or Sweden, and they focus on their IP over there, and then they want to bring it to the United States. Well, their product that is the ultimate, what comes out of their IP, they're not protected in the U.S. They might infringe a pre-existing patent that's out there. So that's what I was trying to get across was the startups, hey, you need to pay attention because you need to know where your market's going to be and you need to file patent applications in those countries, A. B, if you're going to bring your product into those countries, your patents it's not really about the patents. It's about whether or not the product is going to infringe a pre-existing patent that might be broader than what's going on. Like, for example, the guys with the Paragon shift, which is absolutely fantastic. And they have a bunch of patents. But there might be a patent out there that just has the EPDM coating on a bore, and that's it.
Right.
Which they're doing it in a totally new way, but that doesn't matter because somebody has a broad patent on the overall concept, and they don't know that. So, and then from an investor standpoint, which is even more important, you don't want to buy a lawsuit because if you buy something and they get famous, you're buying a lawsuit. It happens all the time because you don't know if that product is protected, number one, from an IP. Does it have their own IP? And number two, do you know if that product is infringing somebody else anywhere in the United States, in Canada? You have to do all those studies.
Yeah, and that's
anywhere you bring the patent.
That's a diligence process.
That's
right?
It's a very deep dive diligent project. Yeah. And the bad news is, if in the United States, if you don't do that study and somebody does sue you for infringement and you didn't do the study, you're liable for 3 times damages. Possibly liable for 3 times damages. It means every dollar you make, you're liable for 3. Plus, you have to pay your attorney's fees and the other side's attorney's fees.
Wow!
So it's a bankrupting event. It's basically
and some startups don't think of that, right?
They never get past that.
Yeah, and what they think is, I filed an international patent,
and
right? And I'm okay, but it requires a little bit more. And when to your point, the investors themselves, I think that's part of what.
Oh yeah,
they should also look at. There's a hesitance of, okay, I've got a company, they've got a U.S. entity. There's a hope that because they have filed or have an international patent, but I didn't think through the scrutiny of just double checking and getting
it's the product.
Review.
So just because you have a patent, and I said it 3 times on stage, and I still got asked about it, does not mean you're allowed to make your product. Mm-hmm. So people don't understand that. So I have a patent.
You can make it. You just probably can't go out and make money on it, right?
No, you literally can't make it.
You can't make it?
No, make, use, or sell. You can't even make it. You make it, you can get sued for infringement. If you make it in the United States, use it in the United States, or sell it in the United States, you can be liable for infringement.
Wow.
You don't have to make a cent.
Just the activity alone.
The activity alone of making it, you are liable for patent infringement.
And so knowing these things that are out there, how does a startup, at what point should they be thinking of this?
Right at the beginning.
Right? Because, one, Carter Deluca is great. You have been great. I know there's a little shout out to you guys. You've been great and supportive of what we're doing here in the total ecosystem at large. But time is one thing, and then money is another, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that I looked at is just kind of a temperature gauge. When you start to look at these things, these processes, there's a point at which there's that trigger that says, hey, you need to call Carter Deluca.
Absolutely.
Right. And so when is that usually? Or have you seen that?
So I see it at all different stages, unfortunately. But what I say to people is your most important asset that any startup has is your intellectual property, because you don't have a product yet. It's your concept. Mm-hmm. Do you want somebody else to steal your concept? It's A or B. If you don't care, then you don't need a patent. But if you do care, you need to get involved with the patent attorney as early as possible. And at the early stages, it's really not that expensive because there are mechanisms like a provisional patent application where you can get your priority date and protected, and then an investor might come in seeing that you're going down the right road. At the end of the day, I like to hand a VC a bunch of patents that are still pending, and what I call freedom to operate, or an opinion that the product that they're about to sell with you is not infringing somebody else's product. Mm-hmm. somebody else's patent. And that's a home run. That every investor should look for those things, because I would not invest unless those things were lined up.
And so are you engaging with a lot of the venture capital
We're
community?
engaging in both sides.
Both
we
sides.
do both sides. We try and put two and two together as much as we can. But I'll tell you, both sides are equally, I don't want to say ignorant, but they're equally
probably apprehensive.
they're apprehensive,
right?
also novices on both ends. Like
Right.
there's a lot of younger investors that are out there. There's a lot of misinformation out there about, you don't really need to do that. And, but that's the process. And it's all great until you get caught.
Right.
And when you get caught, like I said, it's a bankrupting event.
But I think it's, one of the things to your point is you mentioned is being part of the community, right? I think there's a stigma that comes with lawyers at large, right?
Yeah.
But then even at what point does the trust factor there that, look, there's trust in that, yes, there's going to be an exchange of value and that should be equitable for both parties. But knowing that person and having that secondary conversation, I think that's what we're trying to do is
Right, exactly.
to expose
Yes.
you as, hey, these are great people, right? They're people. They moved here. They're coming from New York, and it's okay to have a conversation with them.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that that's a stigma that at large the profession may have not have done a good job at, but we're trying to help inform because it's about risk.
Well, you just touched on something very important. We don't, and I get in trouble for this with my guys at home, but we promote ourselves as our Texas office because I think that's extremely important for people in Texas.
Yes.
And I've emphasized that. We have a separate Texas website, landing page. We have who's at our Texas office, because you're not going to get that trust factor because Texas does not trust New York. I'm not even speaking out of line. You're shaking your head. So in order to bridge that gap, we consider ourselves from Texas. We're Carter Deluca of Texas in the Texas office, and we promote ourselves like that. We have our own logo that's separate from the corporate logo, and it's, I don't know if you've seen it, it's the Texas logo.
Nice. I haven't seen it. I need to see it. I need to see the new logo.
Yeah. Thanks to your cousin. Thanks to your cousin, Beth.
So it's
Shout out to Beth Gonzalez. I have one in my pocket.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that looks good.
So it's kind of separated, it gives more people right off the bat a little more trust than they would get.
I don't know if you can zoom in, but
There's-
we'll show the logo. It's a little Texas logo
Yeah.
here.
And we're
looks
still under the regular logo, but, and we still have, like I said, attorneys back home that are more than capable of doing anything that I'm doing. But in the first year, we noticed that right off the bat. Oh, you're from New York? Oh, they go move on to the next conversation. But if from Texas, we moved to Texas. Oh,
You're in. You're kind
you
of
do.
all
It's
in.
a big
Committed.
difference.
It really is.
Texans want to deal with Texans. That's the bottom line.
But the trust has been so different here in the sense that it's so easy to meet people in Texas. And so I was in leadership in Southlake, and we went to the Capitol, and I learned about Texas and the 3 languages that were spoken when they started Texas.
Do you know the 3 languages?
Do you know?
French.
It's the 3 languages that the Constitution were written in.
That's right.
Oh, no. Tell us. What were they?
You want to tell them? You want me to tell them? English, Spanish, and Czechoslovakian.
Oh, Czechoslovakia. Wow.
And so what they taught me there is that Texas, meaning Tejas, you know better than I,
Yeah.
means friendly.
Yep.
And it's a friendly state. And I'm not saying other people are not friendly, but for us coming here and having to start over again, I found that immediately when we dove into the community in Southlake and then spread our wings through the Metroplex. And people were just so kind. What can I do for you? And the next day you'd have 3 emails. Really true to their word. And I always thank every Texan that I meet. Thank you for having us, because the way that the friendliness has stayed after all these years is so prominent and important, because that's what makes up Texas. The pride in the state, pride in our country, and which we did feel before that. But now you always see a Texas flag next to an American flag. It's just really, it's a cool vibe, and we really love it. So with that, that's really helped us grow our business, grow our brand, our relationship as a couple in this cities. And also, patent law is unique. Like Ned says, I could be in a room of 100 people and maybe one knows somebody who needs me. It's not your regular law, whether it's
Corporate law, you set up an LLC.
medical,
Right.
family law. It's so different.
Right.
So it's appealing to the people that really do
Right, and we
need
don't
him.
like if you think about it. I'm not, lawyers have a bad rap. I don't know if you know that, but we don't really do anything that would even fall in that category. People come to us because they need help to build their company.
That's right.
They're not coming to us because they want to divorce somebody. They want to take they're a criminal or anything like that.
Right.
So it's a
Specific.
whole different.
Oh, no? Oh, then that's like,
I get
I
it.
had some things I was going to talk to you about offline, but
You can do
okay.
that. You can do that.
I'm sure you know a guy. No, I'm just kidding.
No guy.
I know a guy. I got a guy.
I got it.
I got a guy.
And we just had the same experience. We have friends that just are sort of moving here and from New York, and we just went out with them and they're absolutely amazed. Like, I cannot believe how friendly these people are. It's almost fake. It really is. From New York,
It's
people think it's
unusual
fake.
is a better
and
word.
they said it.
Yeah, it's unusual.
Our wife, the wife of our friend said, and I don't want to use their names, whatever, literally said, it's almost like it's fake.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
And we felt the same way when we got here. That it's,
and we had four
it's so
teenagers when
friendly.
we moved here, and they felt the same way. They said, "Everybody's so nice."
Yeah.
I said, "It's a good thing that
Yeah.
everybody's so
Yeah.
nice." And so it took time to, move into that whole acceptance of moving to Texas. But they're all doing great.
yeah.
You guys are all in.
Yeah.
And I love
Yeah,
it.
we're
I love
all
you
in.
got the
We
logo
are.
now. You changed the
Oh,
logo.
Yes.
People can pronounce my name now.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Did you see that? You're not reading it.
Oh, there it
He
is.
changed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I like it. Mar.
Mar.
It's pretty funny.
So, how can people connect to you guys? I know you're out there in the community. You're based in Dallas, but you're moving around. I mean, we're talking here in Austin, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're talking about Fort Worth. So I think that you're doing your job and rotating around. How can people reach out to you?
So we're on your website, which
Yeah.
is fantastic. So that's one.
Thank you.
One
Yeah.
way. That's perfect. We're pretty much pretty accessible. It's just Carter Deluca Texas, Carter Deluca TX. That brings us right to the website. Other ways,
Email, of course.
email. Well, if they have to get the
most
email.
This podcast.
Ask around the
Of course.
podcast. We're
Really,
on
we're-
LinkedIn. LinkedIn's huge. I mean, we both have a lot of
We have a big
followers.
presence on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and I make sure that we get our name out there.
Yeah.
All the events that we do.
And our whole firm does. So not just if you follow the firm, we'll probably do the most posts, but and all my brothers and sisters that are patent attorneys back home are all extremely capable of doing exactly.
And I've met
what I do.
them. I want to.
Well, you met Tom.
Tom. There's
and
some
Frank.
good
Yeah,
people
yeah,
that
they're
are
good
based
guys.
in New
Lot of fun.
York. Your whole firm is.
And they all have masters or
Yeah.
degrees in science, and they'll know what you're talking about,
Right,
no matter
right.
what. We can
So
pretty
I
much
don't
handle
want
any
to look
technology.
down on them and they're like from
Yeah.
New York, but I
Yeah.
mean, I think you're right. It's the stigma of
Right.
okay, you need to kind of understand us
Exactly.
so that you can then really give us great or advice that's going to be meaningful to this. One of
Right.
the things that I mentioned to a lot of the startups, right, especially some of those that are coming from international, is they go to the East and West Coast, namely because there's a trusted person that they probably know, and then it's the warmth of going into those ecosystems. Coming here to Texas, there's not a large presence from an international all over the entire state. It's primarily based in Houston. And so it's the warmth, right? It's that warmth of the connection. I think that's part of why you're saying you got to be here,
Yes.
because that's part of
exactly.
how we work. in
And it's
that
really
way.
6 degrees of separation we've found here because
Yeah.
everyone we've met, everybody's intertwined. Even though it's a really big place, it's still small
It's still very small.
in this arena. Yes.
It is. Can I ask a question about AI?
Sure.
Okay, because AI is out there. When we think about utilizing that platform for either designing or just the business at large, even just hey, I can use an Anthropic chatbot to make it the Ned persona. I don't need to hire Ned. I
Right.
can use, hey, I want to talk to you as a patent attorney and give advice. Where are you seeing AI being helpful or maybe misadvising businesses?
So let me start where it's not being helpful. So what's happening in my particular world is people are utilizing AI to write their own patent applications. And that's perfectly fine, but you need to use it as a tool, not as a crutch. And because they're doing that and trying to submit them before the Patent and Trademark Office, maybe they go through an attorney, maybe they don't. Maybe the attorney looks at it sort of, but doesn't really dive into it because, the attorney's like, I didn't write this, right? But it has to go under an attorney's registration number. So what's happening is the Patent Office back in August, they're looking at every application coming in now. And it was a big influence of applications coming from China, which were coming in strictly AI, and they were utilizing dead patent attorneys' registration numbers.
Wow.
So it was a big deal. So Patent Office is doing a great job right now of saying, hey, you really need to use a practitioner, and they have to sign off on it. I mean, and an independent inventor can file a patent application, but it kind of goes through another unit. So they're all being reviewed. They're all being flagged for, is this AI? What percentage is AI? And is there a human inventor? Because what's the inventive concept here? And was it generated by a human or was it generated by an AI? If they determine it's generated by, or a substantial part of the application is generated by AI, they will kick it back and you can lose your priority date, which means bye-bye, no more invention. And plus the patent attorney that signed off on it will get sanctioned. So they're really taking a stance on it, which I think is fantastic. So that's one thing where it's kind of not helping. The Patent Office around the same time frame also came up with another memo that in order to be patentable, I don't know if you know this, but it's got to be new, which means novel. It can't be obvious, and it has to have some useful function. So you're able to get over those hurdles pretty easily with AI as long as you write the patent application in a certain fashion. I'm not going to get into how to do that. The problem with AI is it was falling into a category of patent eligibility, meaning it's a different Section 101, whether or not the subject matter of AI was even patentable. So things that are not patentable, mathematical algorithms, human body parts, laws of nature, stuff like that. You can't patent them no matter what. So they were getting bounced because it was patent ineligible, okay? So the Patent Office came out with a memo just around the same time as the other memo that, and the way they were bouncing them was saying the human mind can perform this process, okay? Now, what is AI? AI is basically an iterative algorithm that just massively, a billion times a second, goes through an algorithm and then tries to find patterns, right? So for the human mind to easily do that, the human mind cannot easily do that. So the Patent Office since has recognized that these are not easy processes for the human mind to do. So they have relaxed that step so that I think the new language that came out, it says, if it's not reasonable for the human mind to perform this step, then it's patent eligible. That means it goes to the next category. Now it's got to be novel, unobvious, and also have some use after that. It still has to go through those. But at least it gets over the first hurdle. Sure. Okay? Everything was getting bounced through AI. That is no longer the case. Things are, and it's an argument we might have to put through, or the examiners are now letting it through. They're recognizing that these are not simple algorithm and tasks that the human mind can do. So they're allowing it to go to the next stage of patent prosecution. But that was a big step because we were getting, almost all of our patent applications were getting bounced because of that. Everybody's was. So they really, once again, the Patent Office stepped up and they recognized that this is an issue and that there is some novelty and is some inventiveness in this. So they've relaxed that step.
So how can a startup utilize AI to make the conversation more meaningful with you? I think you said it, right? Look, you can do the work. Maybe it's a start point to put for our conversation. Mm-hmm. At least you've somehow translated it, and you've worked with to really maximize the time with you, not be wasteful in that way. So when I'm coming to meet with you, I think using AI is good. But then there does need to be a validation process or a reformat so that it can withstand the actual scrutiny going into it.
Right. So the practitioner has to actually look at it. Now, the problem we're getting is, unfortunately, these AI chatbots and everybody spits out hundreds and hundreds of pages, which becomes, I can write a 20-page application that's going to cover everything they're doing. In probably the same amount of time it's going to take me to read what you think you're doing and what I think, because it's very repetitive. All we need to do is maybe you go through that and then summarize it down.
Sure.
So here's the summary of what I think is the point of novelty, maybe a little background of what the technology is, then what are the points of novelty, what are the features that you think nobody's doing.
Right.
That's all I need to write an application. That's all I've ever needed. But you can use AI to kind of explore where this can go and then reel it back. And then, give us a 10, 15-page summary, and then we can take that. And we do use some AI to help us with drafting. And
everyone's got to use it.
Definitely with research. I mean, I'm all over when I get a project that I don't, like on a hydrogen fuel or something, and I don't know.
Well, you don't know? You're an engineer. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the unique features about what
we're all engineers.
You're all engineers.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I'd have to figure out what's the point of novelty of making this new hydrogen. And it's a process. Like there's a new process coming out to make a hydrogen, right? Liquid hydrogen.
Right.
So okay, what was the old process? So you got to learn the old process to figure what the new steps are, and then you go move forward with that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I think AI is not scary. It's not going to replace you, but it's something that both parties can use to kind of leverage to protect themselves.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I think it's great. What can people do to help you guys? So back to the question, like Texas, how can Texas help you?
That's a big question.
Come to us.
Yeah.
We are happy to help them with whatever they are doing. Happy to get them to the next level. I mean, I particularly specialize in building strategic portfolios all over the world. That's what I've been doing for 30 years, and big ones. And it's a complicated process, but I think I've got it nailed down. And I just explained to Eugene in there, like nailed it down to, okay, this is a step-by-step process. We got to go through this. And then at the end of the day, your company's going to be worth a hell of a lot more in value to an investor than it is if you just have random patents all over the place and no strategy.
And especially just a determination letter. I might be using wrong words here, but just the fact that you've done that work.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I think that's the...
And everybody at my office has done all that work.
Right.
And really, anybody who has a patent they need to have a provisional patent filed if they're going to start talking about it. And that's the thing we talk about all the time, because people don't know that. And so they start talking about their product, but they don't have the...
Publicly disclosing it.
Exactly. So it's essential for them to get in touch with Ned. He's very open to conversation, have a quick phone call anytime. We're very approachable. Always feel free. You can talk. You can text me, call me. Can I talk to Ned? Sure, no problem. Just email him. That's the best way to get in touch. And then you guys can set up, 10 minutes on the phone. Yeah. He's happy to do that. I don't think any other attorneys in general do that.
I haven't seen anybody, at least in the patent category, really.
But this is how you build your business, and this is how you do build trust and people feeling comfortable with you, especially with such a specific need. And he's so well apprised of everything that he does. You just have to listen and then trust him on that.
And you guys are a good duo, right? It's part of getting out there to the community, really giving back to the community in that way. That's special about the both of you guys.
It has felt really good to be able to be part of a great community, but also to add so much.
Big time.
Yeah, and that people do know us in Dallas. They know us as Tori and Ned, Victoria and Ned Meagher, and in Austin and in Houston, and we're building from there.
But we really didn't do this in New York.
No.
We really didn't, because
it's a ground game here in Texas.
Right, it is. But
it was all learning
fortunately, we had, the move to Texas was, when COVID hit, every firm went down. There were a lot of issues, and we just want to get out of New York. So to start, we knew where the growth was going. So we're like, let's go, and we went. And
LFG, that's your new.
I love it.
So we wanted other people to come with us, and hopefully they're going to come down, because by the time I retire, there's going to be a massive amount of clients here. So somebody better come down.
The right people.
They're all the right people. Anybody.
That I like. That I like.
We don't hire the wrong people.
That's right.
Agreed.
Hey, Josh, I don't know if we gave Ned a call sign. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you did.
We did? What was your call sign?
Eduardo Diablo.
Eduardo Diablo. Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
That's an old one. That's not new.
That's why mom.
kid.
That's why mom called me.
I love it. I love it.
Actually, it wasn't my mom. It was our first Spanish nanny.
Okay.
She'd come home, and my parents would come home, and she'd have her hands like this.
Eduardo Diablo.
Eduardo Diablo.
Well, guys, thank you for coming
Thank
on the
you.
podcast.
Thank you for having
Appreciate it.
us.
It's
Thank you,
amazing.
thank you.
I hope everybody listens and connects with you guys. If they're connected to Q Branch, they're ultimately going to be connected.
Perfect.
To you.
Perfect.
And today,
perfect.
I know you were helping advise Israelis on the phone call today. We had a Canadian, we had American.
Yep.
So in this cross section, technology doesn't know it's got a border. Right.
That's true.
And I think it doesn't know who's using it or who designed it, who developed it. And that's kind of what's important about, having a
But
good partner like
technology
you.
can't cross the border without putting the right stuff in place.
Giddy up.
Yeah, giddy up. You
All
like
right, I
that?
like it.
Giddy up.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you.